Hello brick lovers, this is my minifigure scale Buckingham Palace. I reckon this is probably about 3,000 or so bricks at the moment, and it's only a quarter of the size it needs to be to represent the full building. You can see here I've managed to get 2 columns of these windows going on. Well, the real Buckingham Palace, which is the home of the British royal family, has 7 sets of these windows on each side, and then another one of these kind of arched porticos at either end of the building. So if I can finish this sculpture, it's going to be enormous. It's already taking up just over 2 base plates. So I'm hopeful that I can finish it. It's definitely making really good progress so far. I'd love to show you a few of the details, so why not join me for a closer look? I'm going to start by showing you how these columns are built. They're actually upside down. I love using studs not on top techniques, and building in any direction can really free your imagination sometimes. Oops. So you can see here, this is all facing downwards, and the studs actually fit really nicely into this, I think it's an animal feeding bowl or something, which has an anti-stud on the bottom that clips in nicely. And then that's all held in place with one of these space dishes, probably from a Space Police set in the 90s, if you remember those. I'd love to show you a bit more about some of, let's start at the bottom, the tiling here. Buckingham Palace has these really distinctive striped first ground floor story. So these are just tiles held in place with a few strategically spaced out snot bricks. I'll show you what I mean if I remove a few of these tiles. There we go. And they have a really nice, I think there's about a half a plate gap between them, which just sets them apart. We've also got the first of the set of crests down here inside a shell, a pentagonal tile with one of these funky plates with handles on the back. Then we've got, I'll show you how the tiles inside the archway were done a little bit later. But moving up the building with a very famous balcony, I actually watched the royal family standing there for the royal wedding when Prince William and Kate were married. Went and stood outside Buckingham Palace and watched. We've got another set of these windows with these fiendish lintel pieces, really hard to get, mirroring what we did down here, with these little grille slopes used on their side. And then another set of the crests, but this time we're using, I think this is a life preserver piece and a minifigure crown pushed into the end of a bar. Then my favourite addition are these droid heads, separatist droids doing their bit to help the royal family. And you can see I've begun running out of bricks in the right colour, so I've had to use some temporary replacements for the time being. I really love building windows and things off stud, so I'll show you a bit more about that later on as well. There's lots of off stud techniques here to try and get the different layers of architecture that's going on. So yeah, it's really coming together. We'll have a look around the back now. So here's the reverse of Buckingham Palace. You can see I've not taken as much care with the colours here, but maybe you can start to get a sense of how some things are being held together. To get the arrangement of windows over here, I've got a lot of off-stud buildings, so you can see kind of a half-stud gap around there. So there's actually 3 layers, I think, in the end. One built on stud, one built off stud, one built on stud. So you can then get a really nice offset. You can see again down here a half stud gap on these jumper plates, and then using these bracket snot plates to get something that matches up and holds the windows in place. And then to continue what I'd done here with the same bracket snot plates, I ended up having these rather ugly 2x1 plates showing with the studs facing forwards, and I decided that could become a feature. So these windows are the only ones with curtains, because that would disguise the fact that there are these plates that would otherwise be sticking forwards. I said I'd explain a bit more about how the inside of the archway worked, and I don't know how well you can see from here, but these, if I open the gates, these 2x1 tiles continue up around inside, actually inside the arch. And they're held in place with the pair of hinge bricks that have a plate on them. So they're actually stacked up hinge bricks with the tiles just sitting on one stud and projecting out over the inside of the arch. You can probably just about see there. So this is my minifigure scale Buckingham Palace. Coming along really nicely. I really hope I can finish this at some point, but definitely reaching the end of my brick collection so far. So if you felt like supporting me, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the channel description. I'd really appreciate that. That will help hopefully bring a build like this to completion. And I'll be sharing more of some of my other London landmarks and the other Lego sculptures that I've been working on. Thanks for checking it out. I'll say cheerio for now and keep on bricking.